hosting the Buddhist Center online. And also, you might not notice, but there was a screen full of people, and they're all translators for Bhante's Sangharakshita's books. There's about 30, 35 people translating Bhante's works right now. And these are just some of the projects that Future Dharma Fund are funding at this moment. And as it said in that clip, it's all trying to invest money in the future of Triratna. It doesn't take very much money from each one of us to actually support the future. We're trying to raise £15,000 today. All of it's going to Future Dharma Fund, and that will also be shared with those projects and with the India Dharma Trust, supporting the ordination teams out there in India. So please give generously. I've been told it would only take 250 people. If just 250 people gave £60 today, they would get all the money they needed for the next block of work. So please give that if you can. Yeah. And I think in the chat, they're going to click up. Yes, thank you. We've got £1,200 so far. We're trying to raise £15,000. So £60 or €60 or 60, whatever currency you've got that you're functioning in, please give that. Yeah, so just click into chat right now, and when you close down this Zoom meeting, that'll still be open and you can just give in straight into the box. That would be great. Thank you. Yeah, so my name's Saddhanandi and I'm going to be hosting this session, and we're on session 4. Can't believe it. We're on session 4 of Triratna Day, and I was there on session 1, running session 1 at quite a few hours ago. I can't quite think how many hours ago it was, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning in UK. And we're going to be particularly connected up with India in this session. And I'm really looking forward to introducing a couple of Dharmacharinis in a minute. But while we're sitting here, I'll just talk to you a little bit about my connection with this room and with Bhante Sangharakshita. Yeah, so this is where Bhante spent most of his free time, his available time, in the last 5 years of his life. And it was in this living room, on this chair. He would sit in this chair and meet people coming through the door, and they would sit in this guest chair, and he would spend maybe 30, 40 minutes with them, just talking through their questions and being very interested in people. He was also always very, very interested and curious about people. And he had a very good memory for what people did and how people spent their time. I remember when I used to visit him really very regularly, and he would describe to me all the meetings that he'd had with people. So we spent a lot of hours, he and I, talking about doing various interviews here. Maybe interviews about his various objects that belong to different decades in his life. And we also then did interviews around his poetry. And all of this is on the Buddhist Center online. So just go on there and find the interviews that I've done with Bhante. And you hear the kind of rapport between he and I, and you hear Bhante in communication with somebody else, which is often unusual because we get used to hearing him mostly giving his talks. So yeah, just do tune into that. And he would be delighted, I will say, he will be delighted to have seen all of you arrive in his living room with him. I think he would have been quite excited to be sitting in this chair. Thanks, Chandradasa, putting that link up. Sitting in this chair and looking at this screen. In his last few years, he didn't have the ability to see very well. But if he could, he would have really, really loved it, seeing all your faces. He would have recognised some of you and reminisced quite a lot, I'm sure. He had a very strong vision and inspiration around the Triratna community being international. I think he saw that as an important spiritual growth for each one of us as individuals. And he also saw it as important when we took the Dharma, or the Dharma moved into different countries or was taken to different cultures. He'd seen the impact that the Dharma had had on people's lives, and he burned with that motivation, actually. Probably the legacy from his time in India, where he'd seen the Dharma make such a difference to people's lives. Yeah. Yes. And I'll read you some lovely little clip from his travel letters, which he wrote a long time ago. I think this is a letter from 1979. He was in Wellington when he wrote that. He was describing his trip to Wellington in New Zealand. He said, "It seems strange to be that doing the Metabhavna in the order Metabhavna in the morning instead of in the evening. And strange that in order to make contact with the order, one had to cut not only through the barrier of space, but also through the barrier of time. All the same, behind the double barrier, the order and the movement was there." So he was acknowledging being in a different time zone, that certain rituals were happening in a slightly different time of day. And he was thinking about this, that we were cutting through time and space. And he would have loved this, like seeing all of you from different countries cutting through time and space. So one of the interviews that I did with him was on his 6th decade. And he did a lot of traveling at that time. And in particular, he wanted us to talk about 3 objects from that decade. And one of them was a sandalwood garland that he'd received when he was in India. So we're just going to hear him right now talking about that in that interview.
Okay, so let's come to this beautiful sandalwood garland. This represents your return visit to India in 1979, and you've been absent for quite a while by then.
I think I'd been absent, I think it was 12 years or something like that.
Yes, I think you're right.
Quite a long time.
Yeah. And I think by this time, Lokamitra's in India. He'd gone to India to learn a bit more about yoga, and then you'd asked him to meet up with a few of your friends.
That's exactly what happened, yes.
Yeah.
And it was astonishing in a way that those old friends and disciples of mine, it really had remembered me. They'd certainly not forgotten me. So when Lokamitra and I think afterwards Padmavajra contacted them, they were delighted to be even in indirect contact with me. They still felt the strength of our original connection. So that was very moving to know that. And of course, in that way, the seed was sown for FW activities in India. And of course, it was quite important for me because, as we've already learned in previous sessions, while I was living in India, a great deal of my time, especially towards the end of my stay, was devoted to traveling around among the newly converted Buddhists, the followers of Dr. Ambedkar, and doing my best to communicate the basic principles of the Dharma to them, and try to help them understand, what Buddhism was, this religion to which they'd suddenly, been converted. So that was a very big part of my life. And now, of course, I had this new Buddhist movement in England, in the West, and it was very gratifying to me when these 2 great areas, these 2 halves sort of started coming together. And of course, eventually, the FWBO, TBMSG, was quite firmly established in India. And subsequently, I made other visits. But that first visit, after my return to England, that was of great importance.
Did you give talks about the Triratna movement in Britain, in India, if you see what I mean?
I'm not sure if I did.
No.
People were interested and they asked questions, but I don't think I said very much about Buddhism in England. There's just one particular point perhaps I used to make, that English Buddhists and Indian Buddhists had certain things in common. In both cases, they were converts. They weren't born Buddhists. And I used to emphasize the point that you couldn't be a born Buddhist. Being a Buddhist was a matter of your individual personal decision. Because sometimes I heard, let us say, born Buddhists saying, well, we are born Buddhists, it's in our blood, we don't really need to study it very much. Yeah? So there was that sort of attitude sometimes. And of course, in India, there was this whole question of the caste system. You're born as a Brahmin, you're born as a Kshatriya, you're born as a Dalit. But you certainly couldn't be born a Buddhist in that sort of way. You were a Buddhist as a result of your own individual decision, your own individual practice of the Dharma. So I used to emphasize the fact that English Buddhists and Indian Buddhists in this respect had a great deal in common. I certainly talked about that.
Thank you. Yeah, so he's just reminding us again, isn't he, that our deepening Buddhist practice needs to come from our actual individual effort. And there can be many born Buddhists, and that's great, and we need to just keep taking the Dharma further in our lives. So I'm going to now introduce you to Tarahridaya and Abhayanavita, who were Bhante's last visitors before he died. So I'm just going to tune in with them. They're both coming in from India. Yeah.
Jai Bhim.
Jai Vim, very good to see you. Yeah, lovely to see you both.
Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's really great to see you all. I just remembering you so much when you were at Adhisthana in 2018, yes? And you'd both been invited to come and attend a 4-week course at Adhisthana for people that were holding a lot of responsibility at that time, and you were doing that at that time. But before we go into that, I'd love you just to tell us a little bit about your lives, your daily life generally. I know you both have really, really busy lives, but it's still hard to imagine it. So just describe a little bit what your life is like.
Tarahridaya?
So, yeah.
Okay, you can go first. Okay, thank you, Abhayanavita. Hello, everyone. Yes, I live in Pune, and I live with my family. I have 2 children. They are grown up now, and my husband is also an order member. So I live with all 3 of them. My day start in the morning. Generally, I get up between 6 to 7. And yes, as you all are doing, so I'm also doing my morning activities and including my sadhana or meditation, different meditations. And then as an Indian woman, mother, there are a lot of household things, lot of household chores I have to do, which I'm doing every day. I am holding the responsibility in ordination team. So many times we are having retreats. So generally by 11 or quarter to 11, we are having retreats. So they are starting at quarter to 11. So I'm joining in them. If there is no retreat, so there are meetings. Most of the times we are busy. I'm talking especially about the online things, while we are in pandemic. And then after that also, they go up to 1:30, quarter to 2. And after that, just remaining cooking we do as a housewife or just a Indian wife. So, and after that, again, we have session in the afternoon. And if we are not in the retreat, So I'm doing communication generally with at least 2 people every day on phone, nowadays on phone. But if it was not means when we were not in pandemic, so I was going out in different centers and meeting different people. So that was my routine. And in the evening also, again doing something at home, cooking, and if possible doing some reading and watching some TV and spending some time with the family, and then doing little bit of reading or study and going to sleep by 11 o'clock. So that's just a Indian pattern.
That's
So,
lovely. And Tarahridaya, tell us, how many women are in the ordination process that you have to oversee?
yeah, it is near about, miss, every time it's going up. So I think at the moment we have 850 to 900 people.
Yeah. All right then.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, I think it might be more than that. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Great. And Abhayanavita, tell us, what are you getting up to each day?
Yeah, actually, it's very new this year. Pandemic changed a lot of things. My life is a little bit same like all women in India and all order member, women, female order member in India, that I have family. I live with husband, my son, with in-law. So some of the time of my life, as usual, goes in cooking and looking after something. Actually, me and my husband Amita, and we all together look after the family. But after, instead of that, in movement, actually, I'm mostly busy. My energy mostly engaged with social project we are running in Amravati. And through that social project, my responsibility is look after the programs which is related with women issue. So mostly with this through this project, we talk about the gender and women violence and organized program. Also, we talk about the child sexual abuse, and also this our project is a part of one of national network. So I am there responsible as a uh, there I'm responsible as a core team person in that network called the Maitri network. And actually in this year, which is quite a new, I mean, this is why the usual life, and I'm also connect with two mitra class leading here in Amravati in my local situation. Also sometimes I get engaged with GFR team for as a support team member. So just we had finished one online retreat, so I was fully involved with that. And instead of that, this year actually I was too much busy with the relief work with those community people, those are affected by this corona pandemic situation. So we did with my team, we did lots of relief work, distributing grocery, distributing food, and nowadays actually we are supporting with the children from slum and community. We are supporting them with providing some educational material. So this in this way my life is quite divided with family, with some spiritual activity, and also with this social projects. So this is what me, Saddhanandi.
It's a big life, Abhayanavita. It's a big life for you. You're a
Yeah.
big woman, so it's good. So in 20
Yeah, I'm big Umma this way.
So in 2018, you got invited to come on this 4-week course, international course at Adhisthana, where we invited, I think, 14 of you all over the world who are holding big responsibilities to come over. A few of them are actually on this Zoom right now, like Dhanadasa, for instance. And tell us a little bit about that course. Tell us what did you get from being here at Adhisthana? What did you get, or what do you particularly remember from that course?
Yeah. So for me, actually, the most important memory is meeting with Bhante. That's the one actually for which it's very different to say that I was not so excited about the training or for this course or visiting UK, which was the first opportunity for me to visiting England actually. But when I got the invitation for this course, I was so excited that, oh, at last I got this chance to see Bhante. And so that's why the meeting with Bhante was one of the very important memory for me from that course time. And the another important thing I remember from that course, that the friendship, the group of order member who has been invited for this course, that group was very precious for me. I mean, the different energy, the different capacity comes together, and that built a very strong mandala actually. That's the strong energy I feel even that time and even after that, still now also. So that combination of the people was a very strong memory for me from that course. So, and actually all the sessions, especially I remember that feedback session. So as being a person who are on leadership and even as an order member, so looking as a leader to ourselves and having that feedback station, how you Adhisthana team deal with and lead, that was really very fantastic. Still I remember that and I find that very helpful. So I have actually many memories from that course. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, you're right. Before you arrived at Adhisthana, we asked all of you, and the team did the same. We asked all of you to receive feedback from your situation, 360-degree feedback from all those different people in your life. Yeah, I remember the team did it as well. It was very strong.
Yeah.
So Tarahridaya, what about you? What do you remember?
Yeah,
What stands out?
I think Abhayanavita and me, she just picked my thing up. I was just thinking when, yes, you asked this question, I was also thinking about these two things. Especially meeting Bhante was very important for me, though I have met him before also. But still, this time he was in Adhisthana, and yeah, it was very important for always, no matter how many times we are meeting, seeing Bhante, but it was very important. But when I was thinking about it, that if I have to pick one thing, there are many things which I liked and I enjoyed the course thoroughly. But that feedback session, it was really very, very important for me also. So I was, when you asked, I was thinking that how the process of that feedback session went. It was really very important to being a practitioner. It was really very important because the feedback session was there, that you people have asked us to ask feedback from other people, at the same time give feedback to ourselves also. So that was also very important for me, because some of my friends, very close friends, I asked, and some the people from different areas, so who I don't get on with, or from, as you said, 360-degree. So those kind of feedbacks I received. So many people have given feedback. So when I was seeing all those feedbacks, so that time I was thinking it was the same, is what I can also see my strength and weaknesses. The same my friends also know about me. And that feedback session was really very, very, you can say mild, or very skillfully it was tackled. So we could see our weaknesses and strengths. So it was really very important. And then we could pick few of them to get on with them, or to just work on them. And just now, as Parmi reminded, so I can never, I think nobody can, out of 14 and even the Adhisthana community, nobody can forget that breakfast session. Anybody was coming, so it was all very noisy and in very friendly way in that kitchen. I still miss that. in that Adhisthana, upstairs, there was the Malai course kitchen. And yes, chai. So that session we can never forget. And that really friendly atmosphere, just caring about each other. This was my first time, I think it might be the same for Abhayanavita, that men and women were living in the same community. Just men were living in upstairs and women were living downstairs. But we were all so friendly and we were making chai every day and enjoying it. The whole thing we enjoyed. But that feedback session was really very important for me also to see myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that conjures up a very strong image of it. I do remember hearing about those breakfasts. I don't think I ever went to one of them. I think it was a bit too much for me at that time in the morning, but they sounded great. They sounded great. A mixture of culture, different cultures coming together, and all of your energy and your beauty, really. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think what else. Okay. Maybe one question. Why is it important to receive feedback? You both of you have talked about this feedback session. So what is important about receiving feedback?
Yeah. I think receiving feedback is I find it really always very helpful. But from this course, I learned how to receive feedback and how to give feedback. That was something new for me actually, and that the thing actually I want to communicate still with the order, with the sangha. But it's really means we from when we enter in movement, from that we are hearing that we should give feedback, we should receive feedback. But how should be this? Because nowadays when we have grown up as a order member and as a very matured sangha, I think this is something we are missing. So that's why I think that was very important for me, which I experienced in that course.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add, Tarahridaya?
Yeah, I can add one or two things in that for myself. I was a little bit upset when I went there. My life wasn't going very smooth at that time. But when I went there and I was thinking why this feedback session was there. I was not ready for that. I have taken the feedback, I have given the feedback for me, but then I was thinking how it is going to happen. When this actual process has started, and when it finished, I think we took 2 days to go in that process. After
even more.
That, you won't believe, even more, I think 3 days or something. Yeah. But after that, I was feeling very purified inside. And I was really feeling very open. And I was starting to feel that I don't have any enemy in my life. Means though I had some difficulty, but still at that time I was feeling so uplifted. Means after feedback, you don't feel like that. But the process you people have run, so it was really very, very helpful. And I was feeling so uplifted in that feedback session. And I started to feel that I can also see my own weaknesses, and which I'm still seeing and starting to work. And we had to pick 2 weaknesses which we are going to work on that. So I'm still working on them. I'm still remembering. And sometimes Abhayanavita and we talk with each other and we talk about those. Just this morning we talked with each other. So it was really very helpful. And I remember that about the feedback, Ratnaguna's session was also there about feedback. And it was also very, very helpful for us. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
So then you had this meeting with Bhante, I think only 6 or 7 days before he died.
Yeah.
And you both visited
5
him.
days.
5 days. Okay, 5 days.
It was 25th.
Yeah.
And you
It
both
was on 25th. Yeah.
Okay. And you both visited him in this lounge together?
Yes.
Tell us about it, this important occasion.
Yeah. So Abhayanavita, you start.
Yeah. Actually, it was a long waiting. Each day of our course, we was looking for this, and it we means on one point we was so frustrated that when we will got that time, but it was that 25th of September, yeah, October, sorry,
October, yeah.
25th of October, that day came. And on breakfast time, actually Tarahridaya just teased me that I got invitation to meet with Bhante, and my face was just get disturbed, and I was happy for her, and but there was lots of feeling in my mind, and suddenly within very few minutes she told that we got invitation to meet Bhante, and it was really very very exciting for us. Before this, I have seen Bhante when I was of 14. It means maybe 22 years before, and from that I was holding him in my heart. And that day, I think my visit was after Tarahridaya, and I was so exciting to see him and to meet him. When I enter in room, mm, it it was like a heaven and very different feeling for me. Seeing him, shaking his hand, having that very precious touch, uh, doing that Trivar Vandan to him, and having that chat for 25 minutes. That all was so excellent. I was know that he is not able to see so properly, but I didn't find any difficulty in that communication. His voice was so strong. His communication with him was with full of mindful, means nobody can imagine that the person of 93 year who is going to die after 5 days was so mindful about his past memory, and also about his connection with Sangha, and the person who is sitting in front of you, he can't see that person, but he was so clear in his communication. I still remember his each word actually, and that was really a very 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 big and important memory for me.
Thank you. Thank you. And Tarahridaya, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I could add something because that was my experience too. Yeah, actually, Abhayanavita was the first and I was the last to go. Yeah. I remember we both were so excited. And as she mentioned that, I remember that scene that when I got the invitation, and I just teased her that I got the invitation. And just within few seconds, I told that we both got the invitation. And there was, I could remember that there was a lot of laugh. There was a lot of tears also. She was laughing, I was crying. I was so emotional, and all other friends were also there in the kitchen, and they were also enjoying our invitation, means our joy they were enjoying. So they were all included in that. And I remember that when I met Bhante in 2009, so that time I was not very mature. I was not very experienced and mature, but this time I could see myself, I was a bit mature. And I was more receptive to everything. I don't know, in my back of my mind, there was something, but I was thinking that this might be my last visit to Bhante. That's why I was trying to absorb everything in that room. And as Abhayanavita mentioned, that I did the same, and I talked with him. His voice was so soft, and we both were talking about it. When he could not hear, he was just coming forward to hear and asking us again. So everything, every moment, everything in his room, what he asked, I talked with him about my sadhana, that I can't visualize or I can't see the Tara. So he just said to me that it's not very important, but the important is your connection with your idam. And he chanted that green Tara mantra on his that green stone mala for me. So it was really means like a blessing for me that time. And it was really important. I asked him that if he still remember Hindi, because he asked me from where I am, from India. And I told that I am from North India. So I asked, do you still remember Hindi? And he said very innocently, Bhul gaya. And that means I've forgotten. But actually he talked Hindi with me. For 3-4 minutes, he talked in Hindi with me. So that was excellent. His memory, his brightness, it was very excellent. And I remember just one thing I will mention. I think both of us, we experienced, he said the same thing to both of us, that we will meet again while you are here. And we didn't know that time in which form he's going to meet us, but we definitely met him at that time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you. And thank you, well, at that time, we said thank you anyway, but thank you to all of the participants of that course for helping Adhisthana run what came next, run the vigil around his death, and then run the funeral. It was just great to have you there, just participating in the preparation. And it seemed very strong to have all of you there from all over the world at that point when he died, and just helping us do the meditations and the chanting through the night and all of that. So that was a very great blessing for Adhisthana that you were present. Thank you. So when you got back to India, well, since you've been back in India, you've been running different projects. I know that Tarahridaya is involved with the ordination, particularly the ordination team, particularly the ordinations of women. As we heard, 800, 900 women in India. And Abhayanavita, what project are you in? You're in some sort of social work project you've started since you got back to India. Tell us just a few minutes around that. What are you doing?
Actually, even before visiting Adhisthana, I was involved in social project running by the local order member here in Amravati. That's called the Baujan Amravati. We run some project which is about creating awareness in slum women about gender-based violence, and make them more aware about the rights and laws, and also help them if they get involved in some violence cases. Also, we run project with children to talk with them about to get aware about the sexual violence and how to prevent ourselves from that. We talk the same thing with the teachers and parents also. So all this different kind of program run under the Baujan Hitai Society Amravati, and I look after all that implementation.
Fantastic work, really great to hear. Yeah, big work for you. Yeah. And Tarahridaya, do you have anything to add at all about what you've been doing since you returned to India?
Yeah, actually, I was doing the same, working in ordination process, as you mentioned, and still I am doing that. Yes, I'm still staying in Pune, and more women are joining. And this year, the last year, had been very challenging for us, because mainly our job is taking the retreats, leading the retreats, going in different centers, which had been not happened last year. And for Indian women, it's very difficult to be online, because we have all different ages women, and many of those women, they don't even have any phone. So it's very difficult to be online with them or running the retreats. So begin with, it was very, very difficult, and nobody from us is very technical, means technically expert. So for us also, it was very, very new. So, but now people are getting habit of it. And I can see some of the women, they saved some money and they just bought some smartphone, or many women are using some other people's phone. like their sons, their daughter, their husbands or daughter-in-law's phone. And even sometimes I still remember that women are struggling very much. Some women are going few kilometers and sharing some with some other people to just be online in online retreat. And just two women are sitting together, or sometimes three women are still it's going. But this year particularly was very challenging for us because in India we have very physical contact with each other in the retreat, and we talk with in front of us.
Thank you. And thank you for all the work you're doing with feeding people and creating supplies of food for people that have been very affected by the coronavirus. Thank you very much. So one last question. What is the main blessing that you've experienced from being part of Triratna?
I think I receive blessing or that trust, that faith, that just being means when I involved in Triratna, actually I was very young girl, 13, 14 years, and that time just giving that confidence and building that confidence that as a girl, as a woman, or as a women from this Dalit background, or from very discriminative situation, or from as a girl or as a woman from very dominating situation, Triratna has shown that confidence, build that confidence that me as a human being, me as a person, have all that opportunity in Sangha to grow myself, to build myself, to develop myself. I think that's the blessing, that's the opportunity I receive from Buddhism, from Bhante, from Sangha, and I'm really so grateful for that. And I receive that everywhere. Even I receive that from Adhisthana, from all my friends, from Saddhanandi, from Ari Jaya, Lokeshwara, all the team from Adhisthana, and all my friends who were with us on that course. So thank you so much for all that blessing.
Thank you. And Tarahridaya, what about you?
Yes. Actually, I fully agree with Abhayanavita. Yes, I got the same. One another thing is when I reflect about my life in Triratna, the same thing I also get. There lots of confidence from seeing my background. But at the same time, one another thing was like a blessing for me, which I was since my first day in Sangha. I'm very impressed. And I think because of that, I'm still there, which is Kalyan Mitrata, the spiritual friendship, which was really very strong for me. And I got a lot of Kalyan Mitrata. I am giving lots of Kalyan Mitrata. There is a lot of pain in the world, but still that Kalyan Mitrata is bringing together all of us. And the connection between us, that is very, very important for me. And that I feel that is a really big blessing for me from the Sangha. I could have not been there if that was not missing there. So yes, I'm really grateful that Bhante has introduced that Kalyan Mitrata to us, which came from just way back from Buddha. So thank you very much. And which I got everywhere. Yeah. It's, because of that means when I went in other countries also, in Adhisthana also, in India also, in everywhere I go in India. So everywhere we just, that connection, that Kalyan Mitrata works. It's amazing. It's magic.
Thank you. I received the same blessing. And you're right. Kalyana Mitrata, yes. Lovely, thank you. Well, you brought a really strong flavour of India into this occasion. Thank you very much. And we're going to meet you in a minute in the puja, which Arya Jaya, your friend Arya Jaya, is going to be leading alongside you. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Saddhanandi.
Thank you, both of you. And Very inspiring. Yes, as Lucy and Dorothy are saying from Nottingham, really, really inspiring to meet you guys. And well, I think also just hearing you speaking just reminds me, money that's going to Future Dharma Fund is going to India. It's going to the India Dharma Trust. It's going to the India Young Coordinator, Youth Coordinator. It's going to help the ordination process. It's going to help translate Bhante's books into different languages. So please give. I mean, you're putting money in these women's pockets just to help them run the projects that they're running, along with a lot of other projects. And as you say, this year's been very difficult and a lot of things have been online. And again, Future Dharma Fund is supporting a lot of the online teachings and blessings that we're receiving through the Buddhist Center Online and through Free Buddhist Audio. So if you haven't got a standing order to give money to that project, please do so now. And otherwise, yes, give your £60, $60, 60 euros, whatever it is, into Future Dharma Fund right now. Just click on the link again. Yeah. Yes, and Parami just saying thank you to our translators. Yes, indeed. Thank you to Sangadarshini, Paramachitta and Vidya Dharani. It's really great to have all these sessions being translated. Okay, I think we can. I can say goodbye now from Ergien House. If you want to know more about what Ergien House is doing, then please connect up to their newsletter. And they're putting out blogs where they're interviewing different people who've spent time with Bhante, talking you through Bhante's living room and his environment and his history. Just sign up for a blog on the Ergien House and just keep track of what's happening in this particular project. And you'll be visiting this lounge virtually, if not in person at least. Yeah. So now I think we're going over to the shrine room at Adhisthana for a threefold puja, where we'll meet Abhayanavita and Tarahridaya all over again, along with Arya Jaya. And I look forward to that puja right now. Yes, swinging over to the shrine room. Now I'll just have to run down the track. Yeah. Thank you all, and thank you, beautiful talking.
Thank you, Saddhanandi. Your chair's here ready for you. Yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Adhisthana Shrine Room, where we'll be doing a threefold puja this afternoon. And it's just really moving to be in Bhante's living room, having a chat with Abhayanavita and Tarahridaya, my two very good friends. I'm Arya Jaya, and I'm here with the Adhisthana community. So we're really happy to be meeting you all again in this session. I was also on the Adhisthana course that we've been talking about. So it just brings back so many wonderful memories of us all being together. I got in trouble last time I went to India from these two lovely women because I didn't quite make enough time to spend with them. So we've still got a date for when I come to India next. I know it needs to be at least 3 days that the three of us spend together. And I can't tell you, seeing you today, how much I long for that. I long to be able to travel and see you both in India again. And I feel a bit teary saying that. So looking forward to doing this puja with you both today. So we're staying with the theme of blessings. And I'm going to begin the puja with a poem by Bhante called Taking Refuge in the Buddha. And the refrain of the poem, Bhante keeps saying that my place is at thy feet, meaning the feet of the Buddha. So Bhante's place is at the feet of the Buddha. And just, I think Bhante's living room for me evokes my sense of my place being at the feet or in the chair next to Bhante. So when maybe I read this poem, you can think of just kind of being close to Bhante, sitting perhaps with him imaginatively in his living room. And then after the opening reverence, Tarahridaya will lead the refuges and precepts, Indian style. So if that's new to you, enjoy. It's a really beautiful tune for the refuges and precepts. She'll say the precepts in Hindi and then I'll say them in English. Okay. And then after the next session, I'll ask Abhayanavita to lead the Shakyamuni mantra. When we do the mantra, you've been invited to, if you'd like, place a text or a piece of Dharma that you feel has given you blessings. And we're going to invite you in the mantra to put that on your shrine. So I have Wisdom Beyond Words by Bhante. It was the first thing I read that Bhante had written, a commentary on the Wisdom Sutras. So I'm going to be placing that on the shrine. So we'll just invite you to do that. And at the end of the puja, we're going to play a video which was of us circumambulating Bhante's burial mound. And I think we might go and physically do that because the weather's okay. So we can all go and do that, and you can see the video, beautiful video, very evocative. So Bhante is buried in the burial mound just in the gardens here at Adhisthana. So we can still take darshan with him there and receive his blessings through our connection with him. Okay, great. Saddhanandi's arrived and we will begin the puja. All right, so if you just want to prepare yourself, I'm going to change modes, and in fact I think we'll salute the shrine. So just to change modes and prepare ourselves for puja. So we're saluting the three jewels, and we'll do it in unison. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Namah, Om Ahom. Taking refuge in the Buddha. Nati me saranang anyang, Buddho me saranang verang. Not where the gardens blossom, not where the fountains rise in plumes of trembling whiteness to the blue of sunlit skies. Not where the forests murmur, not where the rivers meet, not where the mountains ponder. My place is at thy feet. Not where the spring Castilian spreads glimmering as it gropes through the ever-living laurels that throng Parnassus's slopes. Not where the nine still follow with dance and chorus sweet in the footsteps of Apollo. My place is at thy feet. Not where the armies muster, not where the trumpet calls to the legions as they glitter beneath beleaguered walls, nor where the vultures gather, nor where the ravens eat, not where the nations wrangle. My place is at thy feet. Not in the preacher's pulpit, not in the scholar's chair, not where the lawyer chambers with lies and musty air, not on the throne of judgment, not in the scorner's seat, not at the merchant's counter. My place is at thy feet. Not where the gaunt cross rises, not where the crescent shines like a drawn blade in the heavens, not where the gopi pines, not where the organ thunders, not where the tom-toms beat, not where the conch is wailing. My place is at thy feet. Not where the gold spire flashes against blue sun-drenched skies, not where the vestments dazzle, not where the prayers arise, not where the incense thickens, not where the priests repeat dead words they do not understand. My place is at thy feet. Not in nirvana's stillness, not in samsara's flow, not in the heavens above us, not in the hells below, not in thought or word or action, not where the mind and object meet. With wisdom and compassion, my place is at thy feet. The threefold puja. Opening reverence. We reverence the Buddha.
We reverence the Buddha,
The perfectly enlightened one.
the perfectly enlightened one,
The shower of the way.
the shower of the way.
We reverence the Dharma.
We reverence the Dharma,
The teaching of the Buddha,
the teaching of the Buddha,
which leads from darkness to light.
which leads from darkness to light.
We reverence the Sangha,
We reverence the Sangha,
the fellowship of the Buddha's disciples,
the fellowship of the Buddha's disciples,
that inspires and guides.
that inspires and guides.
The refuges and precepts.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adhinnadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kame sumichachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majjapamatatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. साधु साधु साधु। सकारात्मक पंचशील। मैत्री पूर्ण कर्म करके मैं अपने शरीर को शुद्ध करती हूँ। मुक्त हस्त से दान करके मैं अपने शरीर को शुद्ध करती हूँ। शांति, सादगी तथा संतुष्टि का पालन करके मैं अपने शरीर को शुद्ध करती हूँ। सत्यता पूर्ण संवाद से मैं अपनी वाणी को शुद्ध करती हूँ। स्मृति सुस्पष्ट एवं प्रदीप्त रखकर मैं अपने मन को शुद्ध करती हूँ।
With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body.
With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind.
Reverence to the three jewels. We reverence the Buddha.
We reverence the Buddha
And aspire to follow him.
and aspire to follow him.
The Buddha was born.
The Buddha was born
As we are born.
as we are born.
What the Buddha overcame.
What the Buddha overcame,
We too can overcome.
we too can overcome.
What the Buddha attained.
What the Buddha attained,
We too can attain.
we too can attain.
We reverence the Dharma.
We reverence the Dharma
And aspire to follow it.
and aspire to follow it.
With body, speech and mind.
With body, speech and mind,
Until the end.
until the end.
The truth in all its aspects.
The truth in all its aspects,
The path in all its stages.
the path in all its stages.
We aspire to study,
We aspire to study,
practice,
practice,
realize.
realize.
We reverence the Sangha
We reverence the Sangha
and aspire to follow it.
and aspire to follow it.
The fellowship of those
The fellowship of
who
those
tread the way
who tread the way.
as one by one.
As one by one,
We make our own commitment,
we make our own commitment.
an ever-widening circle.
An ever-widening circle,
The Sangha grows.
the Sangha grows.
Shakyamuni mantra. With offerings of your
Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Sadhu Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Sadhu Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakya Muni Sadhu Muni
Muni, Mahamuni, Shakyamuni, Sadhu, Muni, 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 Muni, Mahamuni, Mahamuni, Shakyamuni, Sadhu, Muni, Muni, 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 Mahamuni, Shakyamuni, Sadhu.
Offerings to the Buddha. Reverencing the Buddha,
Reverencing the Buddha,
we offer flowers.
we offer flowers,
Flowers that today
flowers that today
are fresh and sweetly blooming.
are fresh and sweetly blooming,
Flowers that tomorrow
flowers that tomorrow
are faded and fallen.
are faded and fallen.
Our bodies too,
Our bodies too,
like flowers, will pass away.
like flowers, will pass away.
Reverencing the Buddha,
Reverencing the Buddha,
we offer candles.
we offer candles.
To him who is the light,
To him who is the light,
we offer light.
we offer light.
From his greater lamp,
From his greater lamp,
a lesser lamp we light within us.
a lesser lamp we light within us.
The lamp of Bodhi,
The lamp of Bodhi,
shining within our hearts.
shining within our hearts.
Reverencing the Buddha,
Reverencing the Buddha,
we offer incense.
we offer incense.
Incense whose fragrance
Incense whose fragrance
pervades the air.
pervades the air.
The fragrance of the perfect life,
The fragrance of the perfect life,
sweeter than incense,
sweeter than incense,
spreads in all directions
spreads in all directions
throughout the world.
throughout the world.
So we're going to go now to a video of circumambulating the burial mound. So we're all taking the journey from the shrine room out to the burial mound to go and be with Bhante, maybe contemplate the blessings that he and Triratna have given us. And the video will end, and that's the end of the session. So we hope to see you in the next session, which is in a few hours. Thank you to everybody, Saddhanandi, Tarahridaya, Abhayanavita, and our translators, Sangadarshini, Paramachitta, and Vidyavardhani. Thank you for your translation, and thank you all for joining us.
Just as millions of lamps can be lit from one lamp, without the one lamp being diminished by all the lamps taking their flame from it. In the same way, from the one lamp of aspiration, the lamps of aspiration of all the Buddhas are lit. Yet the one lamp of aspiration is not exhausted and shines undiminished. Just as when a lamp is put into a room, even 1,000 years of darkness immediately vanishes, and it lights up the place. In the same way, when the lamp of aspiration for the bodhicitta enters the room of the mind of sentient beings, dark with ignorance, then immediately untold aeons of darkness caused by the obstruction of afflictions are dispelled, and the lamp produces the light of knowledge.
Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha. 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 Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Mani Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha.
Thank you, everyone.
Want to close it or something?
Oh, we can come up. Oh, look, they are.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you all for hanging on in there through this session. It's been great. Yeah. And Tarahridaya, fabulous.
Gracias a todas para
Thank you, Adhisthana.
esta sesión. Gracias.
So, you know, I've turned off
Hasta la
the
siguiente sesión en español habrá traducción para la próxima sesión a las 7:30.
Gracias, Paramachita. The translation's closed now, and we'll need to close this session. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Abhayanavita, as well.
Yeah,
you
thank
both
so much.
Thank you so much.
Dhanyavad.
Thanks a lot.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you for puja and all this.
May all blessings be yours.
Yes,
May
sadhu.
all God's protection.
Jai Bhim.